Rikab, are you able to hear me out?
Yes, Miran.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation.
Yes.
I just wanted to brief you about who we are. So, Conneqt Digital is a part of division of Conneqt, and I just wanted to give you a small high-level brief about Conneqt. So, we are around a 2.25 2 billion, and we also have around 220 plus customers for various of our practices. And within Conneqt Digital, we have around 45,000 employees. And then our major focus has been in the banking and financial verticals. And we have more than 22 delivery centers within India, and we have 8 digital COEs across our digital practice. So majorly the verticals that we operate on, banking and financial, because we have the backdrop of our parent company is Conneqt. So we have our existing customer base, followed by insurance, and then retail and e-commerce, telecom and media, auto manufacturing, health insurance, and digital engineering. That's broadly that covers our entire portfolio of vertical of industries that we operate on. And I just wanted to inform you that our we have 8 COEs, digital COEs that with us from a digital engineering, and then we have for all our mobile and legacy application developments movement into the cloud. And we have automation, we have practices for UI path, automation anywhere, and multiple low-code, no-code application automations that can be enabled. That is a different practice. And I operate from an enterprise apps the practice that we cover both SAP, ServiceNow, and Salesforce. So, and then we have cybersecurity as part of our parent company, COE, and then we have cloud practice. We are a partner for AWS, Microsoft Azure, and also GeoCloud as well. And we have digital assurance practice, wherein we have a complete testing module for our, even we have a Tosca for our SAP practice. And we have a digital BPM that is more from a BPM segment. So I just want to give a brief about myself. Then I have around 20 years of industry experience. I work with Murugappa Group for almost 18 years, handling various verticals within Murugappa Group, and then I was handling SAP as well. And the last 2 years, I have been associated with Conneqt Digital, and then we have good number of customer engagements, and then businesses coming from for SAP practice and Salesforce and ServiceNow. Madhu, can you just move on to the next slide? Madhu, hello. Yeah. So predominantly just wanted to give you a high level that what is about RISE with SAP and what is SAP's vision. So SAP has been there for almost 25 years now within India. And then what is the SAP's vision is to enable a network intelligent, sustainable enterprise that delivers business and societal outcomes. So that their focus is on 3 verticals. That is, focus is on top line, faster time to market, new revenue streams and business models. And then automate the bottom line intelligent enterprise across your operation, industry operations. And also they have an end-to-end sustainability that is part of our SAP's vision. So that's where it has moved forward. So Madhu, can you just move on to the next slide? See, what are the challenges that we face as part of our digital transformation aspirations? So most of our companies are facing that limited ability to leverage the broader technology ecosystem capabilities and integrate them efficiently. And then we have a limited visibility of our real-time business process performance and improvement opportunities. And we have the constraints on our resources to keep the lights on and to pursue new innovations at the same time. And varying an unpredictable total cost of ownership because of various factors, environmental factors, and then significantly increased business risk from cyber threats. That over the last year or so, we see a lot of cyber threats happening with the multiple enterprise applications. Madhu, move on to the next slide. So SAP has introduced Rise with SAP to address such challenges and turn every business into an intelligent, sustainable enterprise in the cloud. So it focuses on outcome-driven services, cloud ERP. That's a major focus. And also they have come out with a different platform for their all these applications. That is for business process transformation. So RISE with SAP is an intelligent services application. So the challenges that is faced by our current challenges, what are the limitations that we had, and then how this RISE with SAP is leveraging that. So for a limited availability to leverage the broader technology ecosystem and to maximize the capabilities. And visibility and real time, that is one of the limitations. We have measure, monitor, and optimize business process to ensure continuous business process improvement. And then you run your technology operation as a service with a trusted partner. So it's more from a maintaining ourselves, it is moving into a services model. And to ensure a predictable, reduced total cost of ownership, that's by year on year, you will see the price decrease. And then protect your cyber security threats. So all this ownership is taken care by SAP itself, and they package it as a RISE with SAP solution. Yeah, Madhu? So SAP S/4HANA enables the intelligent, sustainable enterprise through 5 key pillars. That is SAP S/4HANA. So the 5 key pillars has been a digital age experience. It is a mobile ready and intelligent automation across your processes. And then new business model, it always work on innovations and rapidly changing the business process according to the relevant ecosystem. And end-to-end analytics and real-time steering of this entire operations. And it is more from a simplified platform and structure. It is not that it has multiple components. It is a simplified S/4HANA system. And then all the solutions are built upon this particular platform. Madhu? So this intelligent, sustainable enterprise comes with the agile, adaptive, resilient, productive, innovative, profitable, and sustainable growing. So here the complete collaborate as an ecosystem. So end-to-end operation is being covered. And then you optimize, extend, and innovate the process. So here we cover the complete suite of solutions. That is a core modules. That is from source to pay, lead to cash, design to operate, a total workforce management, and record review report. So this maintains the complete core of your entire industry operations, and then followed by your best practices as per the company standards and what has been followed in the industry, and industry practices has been there. So we can build on top of this, and then also move into the next practices, set of practices, what we can adapt. And then this entire thing is also covers this complete data management, and it has been moved to analytics now with AI and digital technologies. Yeah, please. So here a new functionality has been embedded within your S/4HANA. So say, suppose if it is you have a central procurement module, you have supplier management, is all these things where earlier it's not part of your S/4HANA. We have only a core module implemented. Now what we have is that we have this core certain part of your outside of your system that is now part of your S/4HANA system itself. And then you have that embedded warehouse management, you have transport management as well. And then for production, you have the PPDS partially included within this. Production planning optimizer is there. And for sales performance management and sales force support. And with finance, we have subscription billing and revenue management as well. And from design portfolio, you have portfolio and project management, and commercial project management is part of your S/4HANA system. And with services, customer management is also part of it. And then industry to core is also a part of your S/4HANA system as of now. So it removes the landscape complexity. Suppose we wanted to utilize all this functionality. Earlier, it was as a different system, different licenses and all together. So now it is all become as a part of a single box within S/4HANA. So it simplifies your process and ensuring a real-time decision. And also harmonizing your complete master data and reducing the cost. So no need of interchange of data between two different systems and two different licenses and then monitoring it. So it becomes a simplified, unified system that is called an S/4HANA. Madhu? Yeah. So there are new business processes which can be adopted based on your each customer requirement. That is from image-based buying. It could be an enterprise contract management, or it could be extensible parts planning, advanced ATP if you wanted to track real-time tracking, and then direct delivery. And also there are certain things like predictive MRP, international trade, and then solution billing. There are other things with finance, predictive accounting is also there, group reporting is there, which is actually a add-on tool within your S/4HANA. Based on your, in each customer requirement, it can be pulled in and it can give a good value add as well. So with SAP, RISE with SAP, there is one single contract. You can choose between a private or a public edition. Private, as you see, it is more like an on-premises that you are hosted as of now. If you have an S/4HANA system, you hosted on-site, on-premises. I think it will be a similar, but it will be hosted by SAP as a single contract, and it can be hosted in your AWS, Azure, or GCP based on your decision. So it will have, you have the, as a customer, you will have the complete ownership of that particular data. You will decide when to upgrade, when to change, whatever it is, the decision is with you. When it comes to public, it is more of a SaaS-based cloud application. So that upgrades happens every quarter. And also this entire ownership is with S/4HANA system. And you have that, you have business process intelligence, and then you have a business network appli starter pack as well as part of this contract. Either you can decide whether you wanted to move with Ariba or a success factor, and also have a business transformation technology platform wherein we wanted to host any of your legacy application and then integrate that with SAP, or you wanted to keep the core clean. So that the entire your public hosted application, so it is free from all your customization, and all your customization can be built on SAP BTP platform itself, and you can keep your core clean. Yeah. It is a right fit, I would say. So here, uh, enterprise public cloud is there, private cloud, and then on-premises. This private cloud, Madhu, can you just scroll one step down? Yeah. So it's a S/4HANA private cloud. It has a complete ownership like an on-premises, and also have the potential innovation coming through as a public cloud as well. So you can always decide when to upgrade, and then potential value proposition can come in based on your upgrade decision. Yeah, please move on. So here, SAP on-premises area, if you are moving to RISE with SAP Cloud Private Edition, it is end-to-end technology managed services by SAP. So your end-to-end SLA is with SAP, your security design, managed and monitor of infrastructure, DB and SAP application, your backup and recovery management, your basis support, peripheral basis support, your SAP DR and policy management, and third-party management and monitoring, integrations, and single accountability, that is with SAP itself. As I told you, it is part of a single contract. And then it's a 24/7 support. It is aligned to product supportability. So you don't have to worry about your integrations. So SAP takes care of your integrations as well, and DB management. And it can be hosted in any of your hyperscalers. Either it could be Google Cloud, Azure, or AWS. And even within SAP has a data center. If you want to host it within SAP data center, you can still do it as well. So all compromises as part of your single contract itself. So there is a lot of value proposition from a traditional to RISE with SAP Private Edition. Here, your software support, technology managed services, and infrastructure managed services are taken care by SAP itself. So what is left is advisory and implementation services can be with a partner, and your AMS application management services it has to be a separate contract with whomever you wanted to go ahead with. So traditionally you own the entire thing. Now it is partially, it is owned by almost 70%. It is held with SAP, and another 40% is with the customer. Yeah, please. And what are the functional scope? I just given a brief about it. It could be of your entire application. It could be your cloud connectors, Adobe document services, and then there could be a possibility of upskill, like I earlier mentioned. It could be a line of business or industry add-ons, and beyond S/4HANA solutions, core solutions. And then it could be all kind of partner certified solutions can be part of your support itself. From an infrastructure standpoint, it is gives a lower TCO, highest flexibility, best scalability options availability, and data center availability as well. So all these, just can you go back? Yeah. And then all these are compromises of your SAP as a service delivery. There is also a technical managed services that are for high availability and your SLA, and also a technical landscape deployment, upgrade installation, and 24/7 setup of your RFC connections. So all these part of your SAP managed services. Yeah, please. Yeah. Then we have that as part of our SI or a partner, what are the services that you can always look at is value discovery and business case if you are planning to move to S/4HANA, and application implementation. So that for any kind of an implementation within S/4HANA, you can look in it where SI partners, and industry line of business practices and business processes. And you have a system conversion or selective data transition. The decision has to be taken after completing your due diligence of your current existing landscape, and all kinds of custom developments, data harmonizing and analytics. That's something which the partner will do the value add. And also from a typical application management services, either it could be in Fiori operations, security updates, regression testing, data volume optimization, data quality optimization, system health monitoring, a release version upgrade, cloud integration testing, and cloud platform integration services. Functional application management can be is part of your SI partners itself. Yeah, please move on. So as I said, it's a simple, attractive, full description offering with best of all worlds. So it is from an SAP and also from a service partner and also from an hyperscalers. So SAP holds the majority of your software support, technical managed services, followed by your infrastructure managed services. You don't need to have any separate agreement with your hyperscalers. SAP takes care. And only there is a separate contract has to be enabled for your application management services and then advisory and implementation services. Yeah, please. So as you know, there are around 2,000 customers who already began the journey with Rise with SAP. So SAP has set a deadline of around 2025 for its customers to move from its older ERP system like ECC to S/4HANA. However, there are certain complexities, industry verticals, which needs the scale of such a migrations. So SAP has extended the deadline to 2027 as of January 22 is the last information that we have. The extension provides additional time to business to plan and execute the transition to S/4HANA. Yeah, please. So as I was mentioning, there are multiple cases. Here, the process discovery is the initial thing. You need to understand what is there in your current landscape, how S/4HANA can be beneficial for your current businesses. And then you can benchmark your process against what is the best practices available are mentioned in the S/4HANA system. And we can also give a complete recommendations as part of the business. And there are cloud migrations that could be of three choices. It could be a greenfield, brownfield, or a selective data transmission that you can choose from. I will mention a little later. And then you can also adopt a ERP clean core strategy through this journey. Or you can have a complete custom developments outside of your core system and then keep the entire ERP clean without any customization. And it could be we can follow the standard and best practices as per SAP. Yeah. Move on. So as I told you, see here, what I mentioned is that for a new system, any ERP, you can always look at going into greenfield and move to S/4HANA Cloud, Rise with SAP. Or if you are having an SAP ECC on-premises, you can directly either you can do the lift and shift and move to SAP ECC Cloud, and then Rise with SAP, and then move to S/4HANA Cloud as well. And there are other versions Like if you are in ECC on premises, you have an option of either a conversion, doing a conversion upgrade, and then move it to S/4HANA Cloud. These are the choices available for the customer. So you can do a system conversion. You can from an SAP ERP to SAP S/4HANA, you can move. And then from an SAP S/4HANA itself, you can move to from an on-premises system, because initially it started with on-premises. You can always move to S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition or a Public Edition. And then from a completely new implementation, it could be from a legacy and SAP ERP, you can move it to your SAP S/4HANA Clean System. So here that full innovation of SAP S/4HANA is possible from day one. Is a high flexibility possible, because you can redefine your complete processes. You can redefine. Suppose you have implemented 10, 15 years ago, and then you wanted to redefine your complete processes, we can always still do it. And then we can work on your customization as a parallel and then bring it into the PTP environment. And there is also selective data transition approach, wherein on need basis, suppose if there is a merger and acquisitions that happened over the period of time, we can still do it. And then we can decide and take a call. How do you want it to move it to new S/4HANA applications? So there is an advisory and implementation services as part of that we SAP provides. And then for selective data transmission, there are specific partners as suggested by SAP that we can utilize the services to do this complete selective data transition path. Yeah, please. So why customers are adapting RISE with SAP? For three main reasons. They can move it to the latest version of the ERP, that is S/4HANA, and be aligned and with the industry best practices as well. And then move to cloud, so that and also have a simplified consumption model. Yeah, please move. What are the value and with SAP, RISE with SAP components? Yeah. I just taken a small brief example about the automotive industry. So each when industry verticals have that value benefits. So here your complete product development and configuration is possible within your SAP S/4HANA. Scheduling agreements can be taken, and advanced variant configuration is part of your solution. We have a demand-driven replenishment, almost keeping your inventory low, and then just-in-time processing and handling unit management. These are the key benefits that you can see for each industry verticals. Madhu. So there is also a line of business for suppose if it is an automotive industry, you can also have LOB, separate line of business module as well, like enterprise product development, complete life cycle management in a single environment. You have a product life cycle costing cloud as well. And you have a digital vehicle hub. You can manage your vehicle related master transactional and usage data based on your industry verticals. And you have a SAP digital manufacturing cloud material visibility component from a top floor to shop floor. You have the complete visibility onto that. And you also have supplier problem solving. You have a 8D disciplines problem solving methodology, which is part of this solution. So you can always look into your quality related problems in much more in detail, and you can address it as well. And self-billing cockpit, you have a streamlined and automated your self-billing process and integrated business planning. So these are your line of business, which it is a value add, is part of your industry vertical. So you can always enhance your current environment and then add this line of business for your businesses. Yeah, please move. So also we have separate LOB solutions like Ariba, which enhances your buying experience, and then you have success factors for your human experience, and also you have ACC for your analyticals and insights for your application. So there are some additional cloud SaaS-based application which is available. You can always still do it. Yeah, please move. So outcome-based driven solutions. As an any partner to start off with your SAP, RISE with SAP implementation, the initial thing has to be with the readiness checks. You need to understand your process and get technical advice on how to move to SAP. It could be on a cloud, on a private edition or a public edition, and what is the value proposition it brings into the business. We can adapt all that, and then we can do a complete readiness check. We also need to understand your S/4HANA by identifying upcoming changes and relative effort drivers. So we can also understand what are the things that is on the pipeline as well. Analyze your custom code and add-on compatibility. This is where that our focus is also today, wherein you analyze your entire custom code of your current system, ECC system, and then see how it can be adapted going forward. So custom code migration app, this is also the functionality which is given by SAP. We have our own solution which is built by Pridewell. So I'll just now hand over to my colleague Krish to take care of this Pridewell tool functionality for a custom code migration from an existing SAP application to your S/4HANA system. Krish, you can take it on.
Thank you, Mr. Meeran, for wonderfully breaking into the Pridewell code automation tool. Madhu, can we move to the next slide, please? Thank you. Now, I would like to spend a minute, introducing who we are as Pridewell, and then take you into this core slide of what we do, and then hand it back to Mr. Meeran. And in case we have time, we can probably give you a little demo as well. Please feel free to stop us in between, and if you have any questions, you can either ask us or put it in the chat bar, and we can take it up from there. Pridewell comes to the table with a legacy of SAP behind us. Originally, we started in 1983 as Cybertech, which was started by my CEO, Mr. Prasad Rao. Mr. Prasad Rao then moved on from Cybertech to another venture of his called Novotech, which deals with the hospitality industry in 2011. We couldn't get back into the SAP universe till about 2016, wherein we took up a master distribution for a product similar to our code remediation tool called Conneqt, and which was just called Gecko Brain. And this product was picked up by ServiceNow. And over the last couple of years, we moved into we became the master distributors for Conneqt across the world, and then we've been marketing the tool, which has been quite well accepted across the world. We have referenceable customers in the United States and Europe mainly. We work with partners like Conneqt Digital Services across the globe to take our tool into the market. And myself, I'm Krishna Melkote. Everybody calls me Krish. And with me, I have my team, the Pridewell Conneqt team, Mr. Sanil Thomas, Sai Angaraju, and also Harsha Banda. Now, moving on to the presentation. This presentation is actually divided into, I would say, just into four basic constituents, one on the left, the center, and the right, and at the bottom. On the left, you will see pretty much standard scenarios where customers choose to move from their ECC to Suite on HANA. In this case, the tool actually identifies and the tool analyzes and does the automatic code remediation. It's pretty standard. Just to kind of reiterate here, the only thing that we do is custom ABAP code remediation and nothing else. In the second scenario where customers are moving from ECC to SAP S/4HANA, here in this scenario, when customers are moving to S/4HANA, the tool looks at what they're taking, what custom objects they're taking to their target S4 systems. The tool then incorporates the S/4HANA simplification database changes into the, we then incorporate the S/4HANA simplification database changes into the tool. We adapt that and make sure that we apply that on the target objects that are being taken to the S4. Pretty much standard again when you're looking at moving from from Suite on HANA to S/4HANA, we do pretty much the same thing. On the right side, you look at what is called as an optimization and standardization. This is a scenario where we've come across clients who are not yet ready to move to S/4HANA, but have a lot of SAP instances, which, like Mr. Meeran has previously informed, which has been developed over 10, 15, or 20 years. In such cases, I'm sure you will agree that there is a lot of code developed, and most of the teams that we speak to have no idea what is going on inside the system, what code they have in the system, etc. In such instances, it will be good to have a tool like Conneqt, because here the tool basically looks at what code is present, what is being used in the productive system, is the code really optimized, or do you follow existing company standards or standards set forth by SAP? So fundamentally, the code kind of inspects, cleans up your existing custom environment, i.e., or that is the Z programs when you the Z programs, and then gives you a very clear-cut picture of what the optimization candidates are, i.e., things like the heavy select star statement. If you've identified what fields are being used, the tool replaces them with particular fields rather than using heavy select star statements and lightening some of your operations. The optimization further, the optimization candidates are identified, cleaned up. So whenever you, the client is ready to move to S4 HANA, it becomes easy for you to transition from an above code perspective. So this is the code optimizer in a nutshell. Unicode, let's say if you're running on, we have come across clients that are running on older versions like 3.x or 4.x or ECC6. Any upgrades that you're doing, if you're not Unicode compliant, then the tool can help you become Unicode compliant as well. Basically, the only thing that we do is we deal with custom objects and fix that. So all we do, as I mentioned, is anything related to custom code, the Conneqt shift has a role play there. It doesn't matter to us whether you're choosing to stay on-prem or go to whatever the flavor of cloud you're choosing. We have a mechanism to connect and deploy the tool for automation. Coming to the core of the slide, that would be the different phases of the tool, that is assessment, identification, remediation, validation, and transport. I will deal with the first three, that is assessment, identification, and remediation, and we can, of course, take this up on one-on-one demos when the Conneqt folks bring us to you. Assessment, that is a phase one. When you look at this feature, you're looking at what you have with standard assessment tools. In this case, we do things little differently in the sense when you're dealing with the standard tools basically don't give you stuff like background jobs. You don't get them in standard tools. The Conneqt Shift tools highlights them in the system like you can see at the bottom of the screen. We also look for any custom pricing procedures which you have in the system. You can go through that in the demo as we schedule them one-on-one demos with you. We also identify unused codes in the system which are not being used in the productive environment for a long time, and we highlight them as well. So that way you know what codes need to be moved into either Suite on HANA or S4 HANA. Thus, the tool basically assesses the number of objects and provides the RICE-Ws and the total numbers which you can see at the bottom. Moving on to the next page, in addition to this, what I would like to, can you go back to the previous slide, please? In addition to this, the tool, company codes is a feature that generally you don't get in your standard tools that are out there in the market. The Conneqt Shift identifies that so that you have some kind of a comparison to your source, between your source and target, i.e. whether all the company codes or associated company custom objects have been migrated properly. This is one of the basic checks and balances that are inbuilt into the tool. Moving on to the next slide. Here we will talk about the identification phase. Obviously, even here we will be looking at the same RICE-W objects to identify what issues you have. And we segregate these issues into P1, P2, and P3. P1 being mission critical and mandatory, P2 being performance related, P3s are the bells and whistles. In these three segments, you will very clearly see what codes, how many objects, issues you have, the changes required, and then we also identify what objects, what changes the tool is automating. You can actually see this when we get into a one-on-one demo. If you need to do anything manual, the tool also highlights that, enabling a very crystal clear view for the client. This basically gives the client an idea of what is the manual effort involved. In addition to this, the tool also looks for cloned objects. If you have any in your Z landscape, you can UC check errors if you are going for that. The code also looks for, the tool also looks for any poorly written code, highlighting any optimization candidates you have, and provides you with a view on them as well. So this is the identification phase. I will touch upon the remediation and then hand it back to Meeran. Can you move to the next slide, please, Madhu? Thank you. Here, this is actually the core or where the magic of the tool actually happens. The actual power of the tool is seen in here. Once we identify what line number of the code needs to be changed, we comment out that in your program and then insert the new code, replacing the old one. So that thus you know what code is being changed. We also, in addition, maintain a log of the changes in a database. You have the date and timestamp is maintained there. What code is removed or starred or commented out, and the new code that replaces is very clearly highlighted. Further, the tool also allows you to remove the old code in this case. And there are instances where clients don't want the old code to be kept. The old code is removed, and thus you have a very clear audit trail and built in into the tool. This then goes into the transport request, and you can see this happen once again when you get into a one-on-one demo with us. You can see that happen. With this, I would like to hand it over back to me, Mr. Meeran. Please take it up from here, sir.
Thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
The validation phase, basically, it's Harsha, do you want to come in and probably briefly talk about this?
Oh, no, you carry on. Let me, once you finish, we'll take it.
Okay, so basically, this is the comparison of the reports as of now, where we compare what was and what is. It gives you a very clear, how do we say, it highlights the discrepancies and so on, validates your standard business scenarios, validates customer objects, and provides a result before they go live for you to make your decisions. Over to you, Mr. Meeran.
Yeah.
I'll let you handle this, sir.
Yeah. So with respect to custom code analysis, that we have also placed a comparison here between what is built in our tool and what is the standard of SAP functionality that it gives. So it's more from an your naming convention, modeling changes and hard code values, where it can be automatically remediated within our tool, but it won't be remediated using an SAP standard tool and functionalities. Yeah, please move. So this particular tool is available from both from an on-premises part of it, and also we have a complete SaaS model as well. Madhu? So this is a overview of how this SaaS tool is also available. So for a complete SaaS model, that we have to establish a connection within your SAP system, and then we do a due diligence, and then we cover the entire setup from an assessment, identification, and from a remediation and validation as well. Yeah. So I just wanted to give a brief about the two use cases that with our existing customers, where we have seen a drastical reduction in number of manual effort, which is almost from 600 plus days for an identified 4,000 objects, custom objects, and also 3,065 objects per usage check. It has cut down to 30 days. So that's a kind of manual effort that is being automated using this particular tool. And it's a value proposition for one of our customers. They see in the 75% cost saving in this particular area alone, where the existing customer with a huge customization objects background can always utilize this tool. And what is the highlight? I just wanted to inform you. One of our largest South conglomerate manufacturing company, who has almost an implementation for more than 15-16 years. So they are planning to move to SAP RISE with HANA over in next 2 years down the line. But what they did, they started with their assessment and identification. They actually started the journey now with respect to customization part. They know the entire customization might take a longer duration, and that is something which is not aware how many custom objects in their entire system with the different landscapes. And then they wanted to really understand. So they started with assessment and identification phase. So they have found out more than almost 30,000 custom objects is there, web objects is there in their environment. And then with a clear identification details, They are planning to go it in a phased manner and then come to a stage where their existing custom codes are as for HANA annotated, and then it is a HANA ready, so that they can plan the journey to S4HANA and then they can land safe. The most problems comes in post implementation. You will have a differentiation in terms of your output in reports. You have there are a lot of incidents we have seen, and then the performance of the report is not up to the standards. This is where I think it has taken time. So I think this customer has actually started a lot earlier, and then they will complete their entire custom code optimization journey, and then they will move with Rise for SAP Rise with HANA. Yeah, move on. So here also a similar customer case wherein they utilize, they are moving from a EHP 5 to S4HANA 1909 migration. They also have a similar conflicts, around 60,000 conflicts, and then about 5,000 custom objects. So it's a good case study. You can always look at doing the optimization and the custom code optimization a bit earlier in your entire journey of your moving to Rise with SAP. Now I think I will wind up and then hand it over to Sujata ma'am for the testing introduction. Yeah, please.
Thanks, Miran. A quick overview of me. I'm Sujata. I'm heading testing practice. Let me start the screen. Miran, can you stop sharing? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So a brief overview of myself. I'm heading digital assurance practice at Conneqt, and I've spent around 2 decades in quality assurance, and I've worked with many SAP implementations. So today I'll quickly walk you through into a couple of our experiences that we have had in the SAP testing engagements. So to start with, where I have seen in SAP implementation or SAP migration from ECC to S4HANA, only 3 things that matter a lot for our customers. One is from the quality perspective. If you look at it, the defects are getting slipped, and that will impact quite a lot on the quality. And secondly, either they are spending too much efforts and time to complete the testing, and that is one of the key challenges. Thirdly, the cost of fixing those defects, which effectively should have captured in the testing cycles. Due to that, either our customers are spending too much costs also going. So that's where I would like to start off talking about why quality assurance plays a very key role in addressing these business risks, right? So many of our customers have started setting up testing center of excellence to address these challenges and also address the technical depth that will impact in terms of all the 3 areas that I spoke about: quality, timeline, and cost perspective. So so if you see, look at the right hand side, right?
Sujata,
yeah,
just we are not able to see your screen.
Okay. Let me share. I have shared this. Okay. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, we can see now.
Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So if you look at the right hand side, the relative cost of fixing the defects, right, it goes high as you move from one phase to the next phase. If this is a known aspect itself, but still I would like to reiterate this aspect because all this might be the cause could be the ineffective testing. There is a lot of less focus on testing. There is no center of excellence. All those issues, right? Those challenges. And now let us see very specific to SAP. what are the areas and areas of focus or the key considerations. If you look at it, SAP is a huge ERP system, and the interdependency between the modules, and it is very complex as well. And if the testing has to factor in the size of this system and also the interdependency, if you touch on one particular module, if it is not tested on the modules that it impacts, and if it is not regression testing being done properly, then it would cause quite a lot of impacts on the risks on the production, the releases. Now, that's the first one. Second thing is, now everyone is migrating to S/4HANA. The speed becomes very important. You want to release, SAP or migrate to S/4HANA as quickly as possible, and hence agile testing approaches, DevOps methodologies have been adopted. Now, how testing can align to this? Why continuous testing is very important in this kind of scenarios? Because testing cannot become a bottleneck by not aligning to these CI/CD approaches, right? And thirdly, like I said, the impact of the change that has happened on one module has to be, tested. You don't need to test too much because, yeah, sorry.
What I was saying, how come it is changed?
Yeah. So you don't need to boil the entire ocean. You will have to test appropriately how much is required. Only though that much you will have to test it. That's what we call it focus testing, right? So you need to know where I need to focus, which kind of testing test cases that I need to pick up. That becomes very important. Fourthly, the test data management, right? This is a very interesting aspect and very challenging aspect in SAP migrations also. Having the right set of data, managing the data, and in many of the engagements I have seen, the security plays a very important. The sensitive information is there. It has to be masked and it has to be handled effectively. So that becomes a concern, right? And lastly, very, very of all this, the last one becomes even more important. SAP system is not alone. If all your business operations has to perform well, then it interacts with so many surrounding applications, upstream and downstream applications. And how do I ensure the testing is in place across from the start of the system till the end, right? The end-to-end testing is what we call, because the comprehensive testing has to be done, aligning to the ABAP code changes, configuration changes, functionality and performance changes, all of this put together. So that plays a very important role. Now, this is the keeping these considerations. Now, coming to S/4HANA specifically, what it brings us onto the table is the HANA database, which, when it is migrated, all your processes, mostly it is customized, right? In many of the SAP implementations, that has to be tested well. And with S/4HANA, SAP Fiori objects, have been introduced. And what it means for testing is they have introduced quite a lot of role-based testing. So around 350 roles that can be customized. And if I am doing it manually, becomes really cumbersome, and we will not be able to meet the release timelines. And that's where the automation, the testing has to be automated. Automation plays a key role over here. Second thing is the compatibility testing. Many devices are coming into picture, and how do I ensure that application works across various devices? So there again, automation plays a key role, because I will have to test it on multiple devices, combinations, iOS, Android. There's quite a lot of form factors comes into picture, right? And functional testing, of course, I said without automation these days, testing manually, it is impossible, because in any SAP implementation, the test cases run to around 5,000 to 6,000 test cases. And the scenarios, if you look at it, is quite huge. And each test case will have minimum 50 to 60 test steps there. So that's where, automation is the way forward to meet, to optimize the effort, to accelerate testing, at the same time, ensure that the scalability is there. I have tested across all, and what I need to test, I know, I'm informed, because you take the informed decisions. So that's the key consideration we keep in mind. And the process that we follow, the strategy that we follow, I'll quickly, run through this. So whenever there is a change or update or migration or anything, the first thing in SAP is the transport code that comes up. And once, using that transport code, what we do is, there is an interesting tool by Tricentis, live compare tool. If we feed in that, it exactly tells us which are the areas where I need to focus on testing, right? So once I know it, I don't need to boil the ocean. I feed into the test management tool, and from there I create the automated test cases, and if required, manual test cases. I complete the testing, all of which will be aligned to the SAP Activate methodology automatically, right? And there is a tool called Tricentis Tosca that is used for automating many of the SAP applications. This tool is being recommended by SAP itself. Tricentis is a Solex partner for SAP, and they recommend for any SAP implementations for our users to use Tosca. I'll quickly walk you through a case study also where we have implemented this. So why Tosca? Like I said, we need to optimize. We need to take informed decisions as to what I need to test. Once I know what I need to test, I'm going to automate. And this automation also, there is a fundamental change in the approach. The automation, traditionally, if you choose various tools that are available in the market, the automation timeline itself will be like 6 months to 9 months. But how can I shrink that to 3 months? Now, within 3 months, I should be able to, automate all the test cases, and then I should be able to make use of for my releases. And that's where Tricentis Tosca comes into picture. It is a completely scriptless test automation tool, where the individuals or the testers or test automation experts need not know the coding skills at all. Even the business users will be able to leverage once it is automated. They'll be able to modify it based on the changes in the process or operation, etc. And that's the advantage of using this Tricentis Tosca tool. And it is a very unified test automation tool. Not only the UI automation can be done on this, even the APIs can be tested, the test data can be managed within the tool, and it's all in a scriptless way. Even mobile applications can be tested. Everything as a single platform, we will be using to automate and bring in the efficiencies in testing. So that's about our strategy. And also another reason why we are choosing Tricentis, it supports a wide range of UIs and APIs. As you can see here, WinGUI, NetWeaver, Business Client, across all UIs, Tricentis Tosca supports, where we have had multiple challenges in automating the applications, SAP applications. Here in this case, even the APIs, as you can see, the wide range of support that it has, around 120 plus technologies it supports, and that's where seamlessly we are able to automate. And I'll quickly run through one of the case studies. This is an engagement where our customer is migrating. It's completed actually recently, last month. They have migrated to S/4HANA. So we got engaged to automate and set up a test automation center of excellence for them. We have automated MM, WM, FICO, PP, all the modules, also from the external system standpoint, the dealer portal, etc. There are multiple portals surrounding systems we have automated, and we have used Tricentis Tosca very effectively, and they are able to leverage the automated test suite for all the releases, because their releases are staggered releases. They have been migrating from data from one module to they're migrating the application itself from ECC to HANA, and they're leveraging the automated regression test suite over here. So quickly, yeah, this is a quick walkthrough of our quality assurance and digital assurance for SAP. Any questions? I would pause here. Meeran?
Yes, madam, I'm there.
Yeah. So that's the end of testing. I would stop at this.
So I think we'll open for the Q&A.
Yeah.
Quickly,
Considering the time, yeah, we should.
we can have a quick Q&A. If there's any questions from either from SAP Rise with SAP or from a testing side, we are more than happy to answer it. Yeah. Madam, I think you can.
Yeah.
Hi, participants. I hope you have any questions. I can see Devashish Roy.
Hi, this is Debashish Roy from Timken. I have a couple of questions here. Like you mentioned, the code migration. When you are using the Kikosoft, does it check the code vulnerability before and after code migration?
Debasis, can you just repeat it?
So what I am saying, using the code migration tool Kikosoft, during that phase, before and after code migration, does it check the code vulnerability?
Yes, it checks the code vulnerability as per the SAP best practices. Yes.
Okay.
It will,
So
yeah.
so in that case, if I'm integrating every process of a migration or upgrade implementation, so the testing, if I am saying 3 months, it is not going to stop in 3 months. It will be more than 3 months. Like I'm just giving you an example. Like Sujata ma'am told that, let's say from 6 months to 3 months. So if we found the code vulnerability before and after migration, during the testing phase, they need to go back and rewrite the script to check if we have remediated the vulnerability. Yes, it has been remediated properly or not.
So in this custom code migration itself, what it will do, it will analyze your existing code vulnerability. When it does the remediation itself, it will give a complete report. Auto remediation it will do, and it will give a complete report stating that what are the exact code that has got remediated and what are the changes that has happened within the code. And it will also give a validation as part of our fourth step. So wherein it will give you a complete log of your changes that has happened into the system. So that itself complete the entire cycle of testing it's also.
Okay. Thank you for this.
And from a Tosca Tricentis, from the process side, if there is anything has to be tested with the multiple data validations, that is possible from a Tosca point of view.
And also to add on to that, the change management that it has, it follows a model-based testing approach. So whenever there is a change that you do, and after that, if I have to update the scripts, I don't need to go back to every script and no, automatically, it will update. And once I rescan the application, if there are any UI changes, automatically that gets reflected in the automated scripts. So that's the advantage where we optimize the test life cycle as well.
Okay. And one of the comment that you have just mentioned, sir, that what is vulnerability will be checked based on the SAP defaults. If I can, my experience is more than 2 decades in SAP. So it is SCI, whatever the SAP has been mentioned, nothing has been activated. So how you are going to measure the default, what SAP defaults?
Harsha, can you just respond back? 1 minute, sir. So we can just respond back to this query with our technical aspect. We will come back to you on this particular call, on the default.
Sure, sure.
Is there any other questions from other participants?
I assume there are no more questions. So we can end the session for now. And thank you all participants for giving your time and joining our webinar. We will surely connect with you and share this webinar recording as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sujata. Thank you, Meeran.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.